Kyrgyzstan flatly rejects 600 Chinese visas daily. Russians shout right in their faces, "Go back to China." The passport is now treated like trash. Chinese nationals face global scorn. Foreign investment is being kicked out. Starbucks is sold. Burger King changes owners. IKEA revenue drops 30%. And here is the truth about China's 10 dirtiest foods.
Footage reveals rotten meat, toxic rice, and hair-based soy sauce flooding the market. Down with the Communist Party. A Northwest University student publicly defies the CCP and gets expelled. Xi Jinping is reportedly trapped in a desperate spot. Sanctions on Japan hide 3 major crises. Welcome to Deep Dive China. All the latest updates are here. Kyrgyzstan rejects 600 Chinese visas daily. Russians yell, "Go back to China." Passports treated like trash. Chinese people face global dislike. A Chinese TikTok user in Russia claimed they face discrimination at a local supermarket. Staff served locals first, making them wait 20 minutes. When asked for help, they were shouted at. An elderly couple screamed, "Go back to China." The creator said this happened repeatedly before recording. Commenters noted Russians have long been hostile, stating the China-Russia friendship exists only between governments, not citizens. Similar incidents are circulating on Chinese TikTok. A viral clip shows a conductor on a Kazakhstan-Uzbekistan train questioning an Asian passenger. When the traveler identified as Korean, the conductor immediately covered the camera, saying, "Koreans don't need passports," and let him pass unchecked. Viewers labeled this clear discrimination. Simultaneously, Kyrgyzstan abruptly tightened visas for Chinese citizens. Starting November 17th, many tourist and business visas were rejected. A local agent reported that on November 18th alone, 600 applications were denied. This crackdown likely connects to recent incidents, fights, border clashes, and illegal KTV brothels. In Kyrgyzstan's conservative Muslim society, reports of local women dying mysteriously, allegedly involving Chinese nationals, have heightened sensitivity toward foreigners, particularly Chinese. In Russia, police extortion of Chinese nationals is sparking debate. One man said Moscow police stopped him while depositing 20,000 rubles. Officers checked his bag and passport, claimed documentation issues, and demanded a 7,000 ruble fine. They eventually took the full 20,000 rubles from his pocket. Critics called him submissive, but he argued that resisting could lead to detention and starvation. Another individual was fined at a train station simply for not reporting to local police after 2 weeks in Russia. He insisted his visa was valid. He was fined for being Chinese. Elsewhere, a visitor heard Russian women complaining about annoying Chinese speaking English. At Moscow's Sheremetyevo airport, Chinese travelers were forced into the red customs lane for extra checks, while others passed freely through the green lane. Reports suggest Chinese students carrying multiple devices trigger these checks, though inspections target only them. In Africa, similar issues exist. A video showed Tanzanian customs officers demanding tips from Chinese passport holders while letting others pass unchecked. Commenters noted Chinese travelers in Africa often face extortion. Meanwhile, South Korea faced issues after launching a group visa exemption on September 29th. Within days, 2 members of a 20-person tour group vanished upon arriving at Incheon Airport. They were found nearby with accomplices. Authorities confirmed they intended to work illegally, using visa-free entry to overstay. This second incident brought the total number of apprehended individuals to 3 out of 6 missing travelers. These incidents sparked debate on whether a few individuals jeopardize visa-free deals for everyone. Commenters argued illegal work damages the image of legitimate tourists, emphasizing that every traveler represents their country and must follow local rules to preserve national reputation. These global incidents highlight the rising challenges for Chinese citizens abroad. While most obey the law, a small group exploiting loopholes has worsened perceptions and led to stricter policies targeting Chinese travelers worldwide. China pushes out foreign investment. Starbucks sold. Burger King changes owners. IKEA revenue drops 30%. Since Boyu Capital acquired Starbucks on November 4th, major changes surfaced. Days after the announcement, stores adopted a very different look. The familiar soft Western music was replaced by loud, high-energy Chinese pop. This trended on November 11th as customers complained the iconic ambiance vanished, replaced by a vibe resembling small-town milk tea shops. Students and workers may lose their quiet refuge. Many compare this to McDonald's after its CITIC acquisition. Young staff were replaced by middle-aged laborers to cut costs. Hygiene dropped, and cheap items like soy milk were introduced. Observers believe the music shift is just the beginning. Staffing changes may follow. With China's weakening economy, Starbucks appears to be ditching its premium positioning for lower prices and faster service. Following Starbucks, Burger King also changed hands. On November 10th, Restaurant Brands International sold 83% of its China operations to CPE Yuanfang, marking a massive localization shift. Rumors also suggest Coca-Cola is considering selling Costa Coffee, with initial valuations around £1 billion, far below the $3.9 billion paid in 2018. Centurium Capital, a Luckin Coffee shareholder, is evaluating a bid. Costa operates only 389 stores in China, ranking 12th in market share. Yum Brands is reviewing Pizza Hut for potential sale. Häagen-Dazs is also preparing to withdraw, as General Mills considers selling its China operations following the closure of 80 locations between 2024 and 2025. Retailer Decathlon est rumoré de cendre 30% de sa Chine subsidiaire à mi-déclinant performance. Majeurs stores en Beijing, Shanghai et Guangzhou ont downsized ou closed. Net profit en 2024 fait 5,5%, un 4 ans lot. Inca Group plans to sell 10 shopping centers in China. Revenue in 2024 hit 11.22 billion yuan, nearly 30% lower than 2019 despite more stores. Average revenue per store fell over 40%. Major companies are withdrawing. On November 4th, SA exited, laying off 400 employees. NVIDIA fully exited, its market share dropping from 95% to 0. IBM also announced the closure of its Chinese subsidiary. General Motors instructed suppliers to eliminate Chinese components. Micron stopped supplying server chips to Chinese data centers. Dell is relocating 30% of laptop production to Vietnam and Mexico, reducing reliance on Chinese chips. Ostensibly, foreign companies leave because they can't adapt, but China never intended for them to stay long-term. The goal was always to push them out, a carefully designed trap. First, they use low-cost labor and favorable policies to fatten up companies. Then, through regulations and IP theft, they extract value. Finally, using domestic substitution and geopolitical pressure, they force them to sell assets cheaply or withdraw completely. They view foreign capital as cash cows to be slaughtered. The 92% drop in investment shows foreign capital waking up. China's 10 dirtiest foods. Shocking footage exposes rotten meat, toxic rice, and hair-based soy sauce. Food safety issues in China are notorious. From toxic milk powder to gutter oil, the scale is shocking. Yet, this is just the tip of the iceberg. In China today, finding genuinely safe food is increasingly difficult. Supply chain fraud is sophisticated. Gutter oil, collected from drains and trash, has infiltrated the restaurant industry. Despite crackdowns, collectors operate openly in residential areas and food streets. Waste oil is scooped up, filtered, mixed with colorants, and sold for 1/3 the price of real oil. Long-term consumption damages the liver, impairs the nervous system, and increases cancer risk. Pork is also a major risk. Throat pork, containing lymph nodes, bacteria, and viruses, is mixed with regular meat and sold as clean. This leads to food poisoning and severe health issues. Pork is often treated with borax, causing organ damage. Soy sauce is also counterfeited. Illegal facilities hydrolyze human hair and medical waste into amino acids to create cheap, toxic substitutes. This leads to arsenic poisoning and cancer. Genuine soy sauce requires long fermentation, making it expensive compared to cheap counterfeits. Rice, a staple for millions, is also a frequent culprit. Moldy, aflatoxin-contaminated stock and artificially colored grains are sold as premium rice. Aflatoxins cause cancer even when cooked. Hundreds of tons of cadmium-contaminated rice have been distributed and processed into noodles and flour nationwide. Flour and steamed buns are often bleached with industrial chemicals like sulfur, harming the liver. Some workshops even use gutter oil to fry pancakes, exposing consumers to multiple toxins simultaneously. Instant noodle packets may contain dead pig meat and aflatoxins. Noodles fried in gutter oil contain acrylamide, a compound causing nervous system damage, hallucinations, and tremors after long-term exposure. Sausages are often made from rotten meat and sick poultry, blended with red dye and preservatives. Nitrite levels far exceed safety standards. Consumers report finding feathers and suffering immediate stomach pain. Pickled vegetables are frequently mishandled in unhygienic workshops. Low-quality products often contain rat droppings and are treated with industrial preservatives, severely harming organs and increasing cancer risk. Bean sprouts are often grown with illegal additives like urea and bleaching agents. These chemicals shorten growth cycles and improve appearance, but disrupt hormones and damage organs. Sodium dithionite, a carcinogen, is added for whiteness. Commentator Tong Jingyuan notes the crisis is rooted in China's administration. Producers maintain ties with officials, allowing illegal practices to flourish unchecked. Since economic reforms, ethical standards have deteriorated, embedding food safety scandals into the system. Down with the Communist Party! A Northwest University student openly opposes the CCP and gets expelled. A Northwest University student in Shaanxi was previously disciplined for declaring in class that he dislikes the Communist Party. A video of his comments circulated widely online. Recently, he was expelled for expressing similar views in a QQ group and ideology class. Social media identifies him as a member of the 2023 cohort at the School of Physics. A November 21st document outlines his inappropriate remarks and subsequent expulsion. It states that on June 27th, he posted in a class group, "I have never believed in Marxism." On September 16th, during a Xi Jinping thought course, he told teachers, "When the CCP collapses, you'll be selling goods on the street." Previously, in late 2024, he was disciplined for controversial statements during a Marxism lecture. A video shows him standing up and shouting, "I am not a communist. I don't like the party." He expressed frustration at studying idiotic theories and briefly confronted a student who tried to intervene. The university placed him under observation for disrupting order. Historian Li Yuanhua told NTD Television that China's political ideology courses are designed to force compliance regardless of belief. He noted this student voiced what others dare not. Lai described CCP ideological education as institutionalized lies. Notably, in August 2023, the CCP released the Introduction to Xi Jinping Thought, making it compulsory in all schools. Yet, reports suggest that even at 90% discounts, nobody buys Xi's books. Meanwhile, netizens have widely praised the Xi'an students' actions. "Marxism is an evil cult," one wrote. "This student refuses brainwashing, a true warrior." Others noted the government must be deeply insecure to see a student's words as a threat. Expressing personal thoughts comes at a cost. Xi Jinping is reportedly trapped in a desperate situation. Sanctions against Japan mask three major crises. Remarks by Japanese PM Sanae Takaichi regarding Taiwan have triggered a fierce reaction from Beijing. Takaichi stated a Taiwan crisis is an existential threat to Japan. Beijing retaliated immediately. Media denunciations, suspending seafood imports, restricting travel, and conducting 2 weeks of live-fire drills in the South China Sea. While Beijing ignored Trump's threat to bomb Beijing, its reaction to Takaichi is unusually excessive. Analysts suggest this stems from internal political pressures facing Xi Jinping.
Japan's Daily Shincho analysis suggests Xi was being cornered within the CCP. He may be projecting toughness to mask his weakening leadership and escalating internal crisis.
The first issue is military control. Of 42 absentees at the plenary session, 27 were military officials, over 60%. This abnormal instability suggests Xi no longer fully commands the armed forces. The massive purge of top military leaders further indicates deep turmoil. The second crisis is China's worsening economy. Beijing's 15th five-year plan notably avoided concrete numerical targets. Daily Shincho calls this rare omission a sign of severe pressure and reluctance to make unfulfillable commitments. The third issue is Xi Jinping's health. Analysts note visible physical decline. He was even absent from May's regular Politburo meeting. During his August visit to Tibet, his face appeared swollen and his gait unsteady, sparking health speculation. Daily Shincho concludes further decline could impair his ability to manage diplomatic challenges. Thus, Beijing's aggression toward Japan may be an attempt to project strength and conceal internal vulnerabilities, like weak military control, economic woes, and Xi's health. We'd love to hear your perspective. Share your thoughts below. If you found this helpful, please share it with friends. Your support inspires us. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more from Deep Dive China. Thanks for watching.